I'd like to welcome everyone to the May board meeting. This is a great day. We're back to normality, I believe, a little bit here. It's good to see everybody. And also, I'd like to welcome our two new board members to their first board meeting. Russ Carricker from District 3 and Greg Morris from District 12. Great to have you with us today, and Oliver Vista's with us, and look forward to many more meetings together here. At this time now, I'll ask Mr. Jeff Lewis if he will give us our invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the April board meeting minutes. I have a motion. I have a second. Any questions? All those in favor signify by say aye. All right, now at this time, I will have the Albert Shelby to come forward to give us an update on our projects for the June letting.
Well, good morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning.
Commissioner, members of the board. I'm here to present the projects the department is proposing to advertise for the June 2021 letting. So before I present June, here are the results of FY 2021 so far. We have let a total of 314 projects in 2021. This chart shows the number of projects by improvement type. The value of these 314 projects is approximately $1.24 billion through the April 2021 bid awards, with 293 gdot let projects worth approximately $1.202 billion and 21 local let projects worth $45.8 million. This chart shows the dollar amount distribution by improvement type, with maintenance, bridge, and road projects making up the bulk of these types. Here are the results of the April 2021 letting. Of the 25 gdot let contracts presented to the board, 22 were awarded and 3 were rejected. Now I'm going to discuss the projects in the June 2021 letting. We have a total of 69 projects with 63 gdot and 6 local lets. The next 7 slides list the 68 non-TIA projects arranged by congressional district. So as you can see with this side, we are letting a lot of projects throughout the state to address bridge capacity enhancement, maintenance, and safety issues. So this June 2021 letting is a safety-focused letting. As you probably noticed in the project list a few slides back, many of the projects are safety-focused. We propose to let a variety of safety improvements such as installation of roundabouts, intersection improvements, roadway signage and marking, and railroad crossing markings. These projects are great examples of our continued commitment to improve the safety of the traveling public. This next project is the replacement of the structurally deficient bridge on State Route 219 over Schley Creek. The existing bridge was constructed in 1968, 53 years ago. It's an excellent example of our continued commitment to maintaining our existing infrastructure. And here's a ground view of that bridge to be replaced. This project is the replacement of the structurally deficient bridge on State Route 112 over Big Sandy Creek. The existing bridge was constructed in 1957, 64 years ago. And here's a ground view of that bridge to be replaced. Next, we are replacing the structurally deficient bridges on State Route 10 Loop, eastbound and westbound, at State Route 8, US 29 in Clark County. The existing bridges were constructed in 1961, 60 years ago. And here's a ground view of one of those bridges to be replaced. This next project will provide a direct connection to the I-75 express lanes from Acres Mill Road, which will provide a safe and smoother transition onto the express lanes. This new ramp will eliminate the need for a multi-lane weave between the Cumberland Boulevard interchange ramps and the express lanes in both the northbound and southbound directions. This next project will resurface State Route 92 from the Cobb-Cherokee County line to Cherokee Trail for a distance of 7.59 miles. This section was last resurfaced in 2007, 14 years ago. This next project is a replacement of the structurally deficient bridge on State Route 1, US 27 over Chickamauga Creek. The existing bridge was constructed in 1930, 91 years ago. It was actually widened in 1964 and widened again in 1987 with grip. Here's a ground view of that bridge to be replaced. Next, we have a project that will install 2 single-lane roundabouts on Waco Road at I-20. The roundabouts will improve operational efficiency at the interchange by reducing starting and stopping, and the roundabouts will also improve safety. Now we'll have Mr. Frank show you the TIA projects.
Thank you, Al. Good morning. The TIA office is proposing one project for the June letting. It's in Congressional District 12 in Tattnall County in the heart of Georgia Automahal region. The project is located on State Route 23/57, and it has passing lanes in between the city of Glenville and Reedsville. This project encompasses around 6 miles and will include 2 eastbound passing lanes and 2 westbound passing lanes. This represents approximately a $10.5 million TIA investment in the heart of Georgia region and is one of the last major projects in the heart of Georgia.
So we have 69 projects proposed for the June 2021 letting. This chart shows the distribution by improvement type. The estimate of the projects in the June 2020 letting is approximately $364 million. This chart shows the dollar amount distribution by improvement type. I now ask for your consideration for approval of the proposed projects presented for the June 2021 letting.
Is there any questions for Mr. Shelby? If not, we entertain a motion for approval. Got a motion, got a second? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Shelby, for that report.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll ask Mr. Markham to come forward, from our Deputy Director of Planning, to ask for approval of construction revision work program.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm coming before you this morning to present proposed revisions for the construction work program. I do have one that is coming before you for action today, and then another one that I'm going to let you know about that will come back before you in June for action as well. So the one we're bringing before you today was presented to you guys last month as a heads up, but it is a resurfacing of State Route 3, US 41, from State Route 71 to Mill Creek. This is in Whitfield County. It's the North Dalton bypass, and it is in Congressional District 14. GDOT District 6. And so it is requested to be added into the program. And so, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate your consideration and board's consideration for that at this time.
Any questions about this revision? Entertain a motion. Do you have a motion? Do you have a second? Okay. Mr. Floyd, do you have a second? Go. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. The next one I'm bringing, just to give you a heads up that I'll come back in June, asking for consideration, is for a request to delete a project from the program. This is a bridge project in Fulton County that's being requested to be removed from the program by the bridge office. I just want to make you aware of that one, and I'll bring back that one to you in next month's meeting. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. This time I have a commissioner's report. Mr. Russell McMurray, Commissioner.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. It is great to see everybody in person instead of looking just right into the camera. So thank you all for being here and this new normal we're enjoying. So let me get underway with, as I always do, and start with our transportation fund collections. For April of 2021, a total of $188.9 million. The breakdown on that was $173 million in excise, $15 million in transportation fees. That brings fiscal year to date to $1.68 billion in collections, $1.55 billion being excise, and $125.9 million in transportation fees. Now, I told you last month things will get a little different as we talk about comparing to last year. So as we compare to last year at this date, we're down $91.54 million. But let me give an explanation of why that's the case, because you would think people are driving more than they were a year ago today. Last year, in April, we had an audit adjustment from the Department of Revenue that brought in about $90 million in revenue into the April revenue projection. So therefore, we had a $90 million bump, and I just told you that we're $91 million behind. So there's a delta of about $1 million difference between this year and last year. So I didn't want you to be alarmed when I gave you that we're down $91 million. So that's the reason why. There's actually some good news also to report on the revenue front. Hotel fees as compared to last year are up 66%. And as you can think about last year, there was nobody going to hotels. So we're seeing more hotel activity. And the impact fees, vehicle impact fees, are up 46% as compared to last April as well. And that trend has been continuing to be on the positive. So if you look at year to date of what those trends mean, including the $90 million increase that we had last year, that means that motor fuel or excise is only off 4%. And if you take the $90 million out, then we're pretty much flat. Hotel is trending down 21%, which is actually a good news because we would have thought that hotels would still have been off more. And impact fees are up 22%. So a pretty good story of what, people are out driving, and the excise part of that is still pretty favorable. Now, obviously, there's been a little bit of a disruption in the motor fuel market with the Colonial Pipeline incident. We will keep you informed as we understand what that suspension of excise tax may mean for these about week and a half or so. So we will keep you informed. And I'd also like to remind you that this data that we report, even though we're reporting on April, is more a lag of a month and a half to 2 months, because the time the revenue is collected and reported, there is a lag. So even though I'm reporting on April, that is more like probably February data, the time it happened. So we'll just keep you informed and keep you abreast of information as we have it. So let me move now and transition into our employment data. As close of April last month, 3,564 full-time employees. We have 67 maintenance staff that were brought on. We hired 15 other employees, promoted 118 employees, and had 38 employees separate from service for retirements, leaving the department, et cetera. So, again, continuing to try to build that number back up. So we will be seeing that number move back on the positive trend on regular full-time staff. Also, as it takes to advance projects, it takes a lots of resources and consultant resources. So our procurement report for professional services for the month of April, we executed 142 professional services contracts valued at $37.3 million. Again, that's for things like engineering, design, right-of-way, geotechnical work, all the things it takes to support getting projects to letting. So that brings our fiscal year to date to 1,475 contracts that have been executed, valued at $515.2 million. So over $500 million of supportive services that get projects out the door to be let. And I might add, I don't know, Albert did not jump up and down, but $363 million letting is significant. And so we are on track to finish this year. When we get through June, as you'll get through next month's letting, you'll see a pretty outstanding construction bidding out the door this year. And again, let's put that in perspective of pandemic, revenue impacts and everything from COVID. It's going to be a robust year. So that's really good. Now, let me update you on some projects that have opened to traffic since we were together last month. And we'll start in Congressional District 1 down in Liberty County, which is also the GDOT District 5 out of Jessup. And that project consisted of 12.5 miles of milling, inlay, and plant mix resurfacing on State Route 38. The contractor was APAC Atlantic, opened to traffic at the very beginning of April, represent a $4.6 million investment in capital maintenance. And there's a picture of a good-looking State Route 38. The next project is in Newton County, which is Congressional District 4 and 10, right on the border there. I'll let you guys fight over this one, which is in GDOT District 2. This is a great project that really is a capital construction project that supports a lot of economic activity on State Route 142 that starts right at I-20 and then heads its way east out to Alcovey Road. This is in the vicinity of General Mills, where they have their operation, and also extends out to the airport. So lots of warehouse distribution in this area, connecting right to I-20. The original road was built in 1964. It had a bridge there over the railroad that was built in 1964. You can see it in the picture there. This represented a total investment of $19.5 million, of which the construction it was about $17 million, all state funded. So this is another great example of state funding. Again, supporting a lot of commerce there in Newton County. Now we'll move to the next project, which traverses 3 congressional districts, 3, 8, and 10, because it covers Butts, Lamar, and Monroe counties, which is GDOT District 2. And this is a capital maintenance investment of resurfacing over 13 miles of I-75. I know many of you traversed this on your way up here to this week. So the contractor was C.W. Matthews Contracting, represents a total investment of $25.1 million to resurface 13 miles of interstate. And boy, does it ride well. So it's a much improved experience there. And I think that one had been greatly over 10 years since it had been resurfaced last. So it was in need. All right, the next project I'll update you on is in Congressional District 12 in Richmond County, which is GDOT District 2, and this is a TIA project. This was phase 2 of a TIA two-part project to improve Berkman's Road. Some of you may know where Berkman's Road is. It improved the realignment and widening of Berkman's Road from Wheeler Road to Washington Road. It had a bridge replacement over Rays Creek. Does that ring a bell? The construction of also had a construction of a roundabout in an intersection at Berkman's Road and Ingleside Drive, excuse me. Contractor was Reeves Construction Company. represents a $20.3 million investment, of which 18.2 were TIA funds for this local project, and the rest was state funds. This project was completed ahead of schedule for some important reasons, that if there's a little activity, a little golf outing over there every spring, so it had to be done right ahead of time. But a great looking bridge over Rays Creek, the famous Rays Creek, just right outside Augusta National, and then the roundabout for that really busy intersection right there, just beyond the bridge. So, what a great project! Congratulations to Kenneth and his team, and for everybody for getting this project done. You did not want to be late on this project. So, great, good-looking project. Now let me move into some updates on honors, achievements, and recognitions that I'd like to share with you. And yesterday, Scott Higley briefed you a little bit about working with the Scholastic organization, and he reminded us back in 2019 we partnered with Scholastic to launch a statewide classroom program encouraging Georgia's middle school students to recognize the risk associated with distracted driving and walking. And this is the first time we've partnered with Scholastic. I think it's the first time, I think we can safely say, that any DOT had partnered with Scholastic to implement a multi-year initiative to really create and educate the next generation of Georgia's drivers. And Scott did a great job going over that yesterday. This program included a safety curriculum, again, for educators, for the teachers to use that they can integrate into their teaching, and a magazine design contest that required students to apply lessons learned. And a list of those contest winners can be found right in the spring milepost right by each of your seats. So you can look in there and see what the winners came up with. It's really exciting because today we have a pleasure of welcoming some of those classes virtually with us today that are participating in the board meeting with us. So they are now seeing what they're doing, or what we're doing here at the Department of Transportation, because they've been working on this curriculum over the year. And I really want to congratulate and thank the students, but especially the teachers that have adopted this curriculum and are focusing on safety for our middle school students. To recognize the risk is what the curriculum is called. So we hopefully some of you are watching us virtually today, that you may have a think toward a career in transportation one day. We welcome all people to be to transportation industry, and it's a great opportunity. So thank you all for being with us virtually today. So really a great job, and congratulations to Scott and the communications team again for being innovative in pushing the safety message. Now, this is also the time of year that ACEC Georgia's Engineering Georgia magazine recognizes the most influential women in engineering in the state of Georgia. And many of those are recognized in this magazine are part of the gdot family. This list always is inclusive of women who are the most accomplished working in engineering and transportation. And once again, all four of our state transportation board members are on that. So congratulations to Stacy, Dana, Emily, and Ann for being recognized in this magazine once again. And additionally, we had many members of the gdot team that was recognized in alphabetical order. Marlo Clowers, she's leading the 285-400 mega project that's going on out there. Carol Comer and Intermodal, you know so well. Kimberly King, you heard from yesterday, or EEO. Janine Miller, our Director of Planning. Kimberly Nesbitt, the head of the Office of Program Delivery. That's who makes Albert look good every month. Haral Patel, our Director of Engineering. Our own Meg Perkle, Chief Engineer. Crystal Stovall Dixon, who you also heard from yesterday on the project updates, as well as, last but not least, Angela Whitworth, our treasurer. The magazine also recognized a special category called 50 Women in the Know. And I'm proud that we had members on that list as well, including Emily Dwyer, who works in traffic operations, Kate Sharon, and Kathy Zahul. So many familiar names to you. So congratulations to all of them, and let me say how proud I am for each one of them and the recognition they deserve. But also like to remind the board that 25% of our staff are women, and I believe every one of them should be recognized in the magazine. So my congratulations to all, and this is a great recognition, so congratulations again. Well, gdot's also involved in transportation research and development in many ways. And sometimes we don't think about that and we don't talk about it a lot, but we use research to satisfy the needs we have here at the state level, here in Georgia, but where we partner with our universities. But also we have research opportunities that are at the national level as well, where we may partner at the national level with other DOTs or other research institutions such as AASHTO and the Transportation Research Board, which is part of the National Academy of the Sciences. We strongly believe that research provides value where we can implement research projects and put them into practice. And I would like to remind everybody that research falls under the Office of Performance Management and Research, sort of a small office that we have here, but does tremendous amount of work. So it's exciting that we get acknowledged for the good work that the Office of Performance Management and Research does. We wanted to share with you that we received this award for an enhanced GDOT pavement preservation guide with optimal timing of pavement preservation. And it won the AASHTO High Value Research Competition under the category of construction, specification, and materials. This research project is within a partnership of our friends from across the street at Georgia Tech, who we've done a lot of work with over the years, especially in pavements. So here's a little bit of background of the project, and I think you'll find out when I share this background why this is so unique. With obviously aging transportation infrastructure, you've heard about that this morning with some very old bridges and pavements. Pavement maintenance, rehabilitation, and preservation has become increasingly important to all DOTs, not only Georgia DOTs. And due to many retirements of those who have knowledge on the subject, there's an urgent need to establish a comprehensive knowledge base to gather and transfer their knowledge effectively to the younger engineers and our staff, including our consultants, of how to impart that wisdom and knowledge that they have in the area of pavements preservation. To address the need, the objective of the research project was to establish a comprehensive knowledge base of project selection, specifications, material selection, construction procedures, and quality assurance and control procedures by developing a preservation guide and knowledge transfer tool. In addition, the study's task concluded field tests and long-term performance monitoring in support of GDOT's optimal pavement preservation criteria and policies. The project developed in the first version of a knowledge base and knowledge transfer tool, including a pavement preservation guide and web-based pavement preservation interactive tool, which already has been successfully used by our Office of Maintenance in the districts. Clearly, there's some great successful outcomes and immediate applications for the projects. I want to congratulate Brendan Ronnie, Ben Bowie, who is retired from GDOT, in the Office of Performance Management and Research, for shepherding the project. And also thanks to the other GDOT team, Andy Doyle, and State Maintenance Engineer Ornay Robinson, who is his assistant, Sam Wheeler in the Office of Maintenance, who has also retired, David Sparks, Rodney Way, and Larry Barnes, all from the maintenance office. So this is really a melding of knowledge management with technical specifications. So we're trying to depart wisdom and knowledge transfer, affectionately called KM, with the technology part of that, so that we are using our dollars the most effective way in taking care of Georgia's roadways. So really cool technology and a really great award. So we're excited about that. Now, also want to just give you an update of the continued work and diligence, especially by our District 3 teams. As last month, I presented the details of our storm relief and cleanup from the severe weather that happened in the tornado that touched down over in Noonan back in March, and certainly had a big impact there. Since then, I want you all to know that we have continuously worked in cleanup, and I just want to provide you an update of that progress. So as of May 8th, a few days ago, as of May 8th, crews, I think I've got a more up-to-date date, so I'm sorry about that. But so far, we've hauled 5,431 loads of debris in Coweta County alone. We're expected to continue work through May 25th, so that's almost 2 solid months since the storm has hit. Between March 28th and April 21st, we hauled 216 loads of debris from Heard County and 82 loads in Polk County. And, you know, we keep getting compliments and keep hearing things, and I just wanted to share briefly with a handwritten note I received just this week from a person that lives in Coweta County in Noonan, and just said that just want to thank GDOT for all the help received following the tornado. The employees of GDOT worked hard, tirelessly removing debris from our neighborhoods. They're also so kind and caring as they did so. I told friends that it was like watching ballet to see the precision that they had as they maneuvered those big trucks, especially in a small cul-de-sac. Please pass along to your employees how much we love them and being part of Helping Hands in Noonan and Coweta County. Susan Shaner. So just again, making a big impact on people's lives that are still struggling to get through a very difficult situation. So just wanted to share that great news with the board, and thank again District 3 especially, who have, you know, they are doing this work on a daily basis and doing a great job. So we're always there, and some great pictures here again to see the devastation and the work that still remains to be done. All right, let me transition away from that and to update you that last month the GDOT team was proud to join with Jefferson County and the city of Louisville to host a roundtable discussion with Governor Kemp. Also, Jamie Boswell, Kenneth Franks, and myself were on the roundtable to talk about transportation improvements in Jefferson County, especially US 1. During the event, Governor Kemp shared with local officials all the details about our plans for US 1 in Jefferson County, as well as part of the Central Savannah River area. Yesterday, you got an update on those projects. So I won't go through those in too much detail, but you saw those projects in Jefferson County. There, as a reminder, 4 major widening projects to 4-lane US 1 in Jefferson County. 2 are under construction. 2 are being bid this month using the Corona relief funds that were made available by Congress back in December, and also TIA funds. And so really excited. And one of the things that we're excited about, yesterday we talked about the word shelf and projects that were ready to go, but they needed funding. Those 2 projects where those Corona relief dollars were advanced from fiscal year 24 and 26 into this year. So they were ready to go. They needed funding. So now Jefferson County very soon will have a 4-lane all the way through them. And the one thing I will comment on is that through TIA, the second round of the T-Splost, Jefferson County could have picked any projects they wanted to put their money on, and they wanted to put their money on US 1. No other local projects. That's how important US 1 was to Jefferson County. So Kenneth did a great job there updating the group on the TIA and T-Splost investments over the last 9 years. It's amazing that they've contributed more than $550 million toward TIA and T-Splost projects. So again, a great day, and Jamie, it was great to be with you and to have the roundtable discussion there. It was really a fantastic day with a good attendance. So it's nice to see that progress. All right, so Kimberly gave a great presentation yesterday about diversity, equity, and inclusion and what we're doing in the A&E side of DBE goals, but also they've been busy because May is Small Business Month, and for each week in May, the GDOT State Supported Services Program is planning informational webinars specially designed for small business and disadvantaged business enterprises. The Help Center, in collaboration with the SBA Small Business Development Center, has been hosting webinars to help meet the needs of participating in small businesses. The objective is to offer timely and thorough information, as long as with additional resources to keep small businesses engaged about how and where to secure business opportunities here at GDOT. We've already hosted 3 of the virtual events. They're all webinars, but you do have to register. If you go to the website there at the bottom of the page at gdotstateprojects.com, you can register for that. There's 2 more webinars this month and 1 in June. So again, thanks to Kimberly and her team for continuing to pursue those efforts. always like to talk about ribbon cuttings when we have one. This is a little bit of a non-traditional ribbon cutting because it's not for a project, but for its service. And on April 27th, the city of Valdosta launched its new transit service vehicle called Valdosta On Demand. I think everything's on demand during COVID, right? Everything you do on TV. And so now Valdosta On Demand has the city's demand response public transit service created to improve accessibility that's affordable, efficient, and convenient for public transportation. The residents and anyone else in the city limits can hail the vehicle directly from their smartphones using Valdosta On Demand mobile app or dialing the call center. So they started their service with 7 vehicles, 2 of which are wheelchair accessible. And the service is sponsored, obviously, by the city of Valdosta with funding support from GDOT's Federal Small Urban Transit Program. That's the 5307 program. And so we administer those funds, and glad to have Valdosta now has a form of on-demand transit. So, Tim, if you need a ride, you just get the app. All right. Staying on the transit theme, wanted to update you on some more technology innovations where GDOT has partnered with HBBS to develop a transit app for rural transit statewide. This new app allows rural locations to plan and schedule demand response trips with their local providers. So far, Morgan County and also the coastal regional coaches are the first 2 rural providers to adopt the app and make available to its riders. You can go to the App Store and look under GDOT Transportation to download the app. We're going to actually work with our folks to rebrand the app to Let's Ride, which is the marketing. Again, Scott talked about the marketing and brand identity. We're going to rebrand that app as well so that it is consistent. Here's a look at what the teams have developed so far. Is over the next year, the Let's Ride brand will be rolled out on the app websites, new vehicles, and other transit materials with this marketing campaign. So there will be again a brand identity across all rural transit providers, and a great work by the intermodal team, Casey Mertz, and again with communications to make something like this happen. So with that, it has been very difficult during COVID to see people in person, obviously, and we always like to highlight and acknowledge the dedication and commitment of GDOT employees. So I'm going to try to embarrass a few because they don't know this is coming. And I want to start with our own Kristen Thompson. Kristen, come on up here. We'd like to celebrate your 10 years at GDOT. Congratulations. Kristen said it made her feel old. I won't tell you how long I've been working. All right.
Yeah, congratulations.
Also 10 years, our own Josh Waller. Josh. And not only 10 and 10 is 20, but I've got one here that's 25, and this person means a lot to me and keeps Meg and Angela and myself and Mike on the straight and narrow on a daily basis. So Crystal James, 25 years. Crystal.
No.
I will not. Never will. So great to have in-person acknowledgments. Virtually is just not the same, so thank y'all for bearing with me with that. Finally, let me conclude with something that we do each year, and as the nation celebrates National Work Zone Safety Awareness Week, we did that in concert with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety just 2 weeks ago now. And here at GDOT, we conducted various observances as Work Zone Appreciation Day, during which we honored those who bravely work on and along our roadways every day. And we invited our colleagues to virtually observe the moment of silence for all those who had lost their lives in work zones. And you can see some of the great work that communications did again on getting the message out. We also had a Go Orange Day. I'm sorry if you're a Tennessee fan, you were in good shape, but others struggle with that. But we had the Go Orange Day and encouraged staff to post a selfie wearing the work zone orange or wearing the orange ribbon. We painted Facebook orange with the department's orange ribbon overlay, and shared a lot of experience and encouragement with employees to share their photos of work zone safety via our Microsoft Teams chat function that we use. But one of the things I appreciate most was our video that our team created to tell the stories from our own staff members who have experienced near misses. And I'd like to share this video with you because it's very powerful.
The Georgia Department of Transportation employs a variety of people, many whose offices aren't in cozy office spaces, but on the roads you travel every day. These are some of their stories.
Mark A. Darrell, HERO it means Highway Emergency Response Operators.
Hannah Dockery. I've been at GDOT for about 2 years. I am the Assistant Highway Maintenance Foreman for Clayton County.
My name is Joshua Kofer. I'm a Bridge Inspection Supervisor for Georgia DOT.
We caught up with these brave workers recently to discuss close calls they've experienced, as well as how these incidents have personally affected them.
Like a typical day, typical traffic, and I think we just had onboarded maybe 3 new employees at our location. And all of a sudden, I just hear a car that's going really, really, really fast. And it just speeds and it's coming directly at us. And we're at like a fork in the road. They were heading directly towards us. Like, we've already pulled up most of our lane closure and it's just the aero board that's behind us. So as I look up and we're connecting the aero board, they zoom, like, I'll say they might have been like maybe 2 cars away from us from running into us. And it was maybe the 3 new people, myself, and another veteran that's here. And it was very scary. I've never been or had a close call that close before.
Basically what we had was a fatality that we were working. It was during the night. It was at 3 o'clock in the morning, actually. We pull up, we set up our diversion, and motorists who don't pay attention or don't care fly through our diversion. So our diversion is set up with traffic control with cones. We use cones to give people direction in which way they need to go. This motorist blew through the traffic control, and while myself and an operator were standing there, we had to move out of the way, and the motorist went through our traffic control onto the scene. So when they went onto the scene, they were actually stopped by law enforcement and apprehended for breaking our traffic control.
We were standing there on the shoulder of the road discussing something we saw out on the bridge, and I looked up and looked down the road, and we were probably 20, 30 foot in front of my van, and a lady was coming down the road, and as she passed the van, she started kind of veering off onto the shoulder. So Dana and I stepped back further off the shoulder, and her car came by us running 40 miles an hour right where we were standing on the shoulder, and she was looking down at her phone. When she came by, never saw us, never saw our van, and on down the road she went. I don't even know if she, to this day, knows we were standing there.
And as my guys operators, they have way more close calls than I'm comfortable with. And a lot of their close calls are with people not paying attention to the road conditions and traffic control that we have out. I mean, I don't think I'd survive the next day if I lost one of my guys on my shift. I would no longer just do this job anymore. It would be over for me.
Once it's over, honestly, I get angry because she put my life at risk, she put Dana's life at risk, she put her life at risk, the people driving down the road in front of her, behind her, going the other way. It could have been a very bad situation had she hit one of us, hit the van. If she looked up at the last minute and saw us and dove into oncoming traffic, there's just 1,000 things that could have gone different that could have ruined a lot of people's days.
And when that happened, I was like, I could have died, like, over speeding? Like, is that a logical reason to die? When, our only job out there was to try to save lives by, protecting the roadway and normally in the evenings when I get home, I'm trying to get my daughter prepped for track practice, and she wasn't going to have her mom there, you know, and that's kind of a scary thing, and to think that I came to work and I thought I was going to come back home, and I'm not because someone's speeding.
The decisions you make behind the wheel could mean life or death for the brave men and women of the Georgia Department of Transportation.
We would like to go home to our families, you know, the same way you're trying to get where you're going.
Slow down, get over. You know, we want to go home too.
My office is on the side of the road. It's scary, and the only way to make it a safer place is that the public just watches out for us the same way we watch out for them.
Don't cut their story short.
Again, very powerful message, and just a reminder of the dangers that the men and women at GDOT and our contractors and everybody involved in advancing transportation face on a daily basis. So I thought it was very powerful. We'll try to send you maybe the link via email so you can get the rest of the video in there. But appreciate our communications team for doing that, and certainly for those sharing their stories. Believe me, there are plenty of short stories to share. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report for today. Be glad to entertain any questions or comments.
Is there any comments that anybody would like to make to the commissioner about his report? Fine report, Commissioner, and we thank you for the great job that you do in your presentation of your report. Always great information, and we thank you for that. At this time now, we will present some resolutions. The first one will be Senator Brandon Beach. I'll ask Miss Ann Purcell if she would come forward.
I'm delighted to stand before our board today and our audience to say a special thank you to a senator that has meant a lot to us and continues to mean a lot to us in transportation over under the Gold Dome. He has worked continuously for our state of Georgia, for his own district, and he stands with me this morning for a very special recognition to him as a thank you. The resolution so reads to our board, whereas the Georgia Department of Transportation would like to extend its sincere appreciation to Senator Brandon Beach for his continuous commitment to champion transportation efforts for his district and the state throughout his career, and especially during the 4 years that he served as chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee. And whereas from the appointment by Governor Sonny Perdue to the Georgia Regional Transportation Authority, that board in 2001, he continues to serve there. Senator Beach represents the parts of North Fulton and Cherokee County and is a proven partner and a leader of transportation infrastructure investment, those efforts in our state of Georgia. And whereas Senator Beach values Georgia's network of roads, waterways, bridges, railways, and he understands that because these are some of the state's biggest access, it is imperative that this legislature and local municipalities continue to pass legislation and support those projects that keep Georgia on the move. As a state senator and chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee, Senator Beach sponsored and supported the various transportation and transit-focused bills, including enhancing the funding for freight mobility, transit expansion, and transportation infrastructure funding through our Transportation Funding Act, which provides much-needed fundings to repair, improve, and expand the state's transportation network throughout the routine and capital improvement projects. And whereas Beach has served as a member of our State Transportation Board, he has served as chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee, as well as president and CEO of the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce, and most recently as the executive director of the North Fulton Community Improvement District. A common theme among his efforts in all of these positions is his desire to improve his community by adding connectivity, reducing congestion, and increasing mobility through value transportation projects and initiatives. And therefore be it resolved that the State Transportation Board recognize Brandon Beach for his tremendous contributions, leadership, and unwavering commitment to improving infrastructure and mobility for all citizens of the state of Georgia. Be it further resolved, a copy of this resolution be presented and spread upon the minutes of this meeting, and a suitable copy presented to Brandon Beach in honor and in special recognition of his service to the state of Georgia as chairman of Senate Transportation Committee. Brandon, we thank you for your support. We thank you for your continuing support, and we honor you today with this resolution.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Get a picture real quick. Good. Thank you, Board Member Purcell, for those kind words, and thank you to the board for this honor. It's a great honor. I enjoyed my 4 years as chairman, serving with Chairman Tanner, and we did get a lot of work done. But I will tell you that I enjoyed serving on this board also. But I want to thank y'all for what you do, more importantly. This is the best board, I believe, in state government. And I'm not saying that because I was a member of this board, but it is. It's a well-run board. You've got the best commissioner, I think, in the country, great staff, and y'all get things done. And y'all have heard me say this a lot because I was a CEO of a chamber. There's a direct correlation between infrastructure investment and economic development and job creation. And that's why we're the #1 state to do business, is because of the investments you guys have made. And we need to continue to do that to be the #1 state to do business. And I know y'all will do that. I'll share one story with you. During the last session, I got a call from a couple senators from Louisiana. You know, that's my home state. I went to LSU. But they called and they wanted to talk to us. And so Gooch and I did a Zoom call with them. They set up a Zoom call to talk about HB 170. We are the envy of the Southeast, maybe the country, for what we did on House Bill 170. And they wanted to do some things to increase their motor fuel tax and fund transportation on a reliable source like we did. So what we've done and what you guys have done, you are the model for the country, and we appreciate all you do. And I can tell you, I may not be chairman, but I'm still very supportive, and I have knowledge and relationships, and I'll continue to work hard on transportation initiatives as long as I'm in the state Senate. So with that, thank you again. This is a great honor, and thank you for what you do. Appreciate it.
We do need to vote on it.
We have to wait a 10-day rule and vote on this. Is a motion? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carried. Thank you. At this time, we'll do Mr. Tanner. Mr. Tanner, if you would please come forward. This is exciting for me. We have a connection. Kevin and I graduated from the same high school, came from the same community.
2 years apart.
I look a little bit worn, right? But gives me great pleasure to do this, Kevin, and you've been such a meaningful legislator for this department, as chairman of the Transportation Committee. In your 27 years of public service in your community, you know, he started out as a volunteer fireman. That's how he started in his community, and then worked for the Sheriff's Department for a number of years as chief deputy, then became the county manager of Dawson County, and then he was elected the representative from the 9th District, which includes Lumpkin County, Dawson County, and Forsyth County. He did an outstanding job. We were so proud of him. I was so proud that I knew his family and knew him. And he also is a graduate of North Georgia College and has a degree from Columbus College in Masters in Public Administration. So it's an honor for me to do this before our board today and the GDOT, because he was such a friend and has always been a friend to GDOT. And today he is county manager for Forsyth County, which is in my district, and I'm proud of that as well. He does such a great job, and he's a family man. He has 3 children, wife Stacy. They still live in Dawson County, and we're so proud of you, Kevin, to be here and for this resolution. And I'll read this resolution, if I may, please. Whereas the Georgia Department of Transportation would like to extend its gratitude to Representative Kevin Tanner for his service to the state of Georgia as a state representative for House District 9, and especially for his 4 years he committed to advancing transportation and transit as the chairman of the House Transportation Committee. Whereas during his 8 years in the Georgia legislature, Representative Tanner sponsored legislation that provides dedicated funding source for transit, authored a bill that improves movement of freight across Georgia, and supported the passage of the Transportation Funding Act, which provided much-needed funding to repair, improve, and expand the state's transportation network through routine and capital improvement projects. And whereas Representative Tanner, a resident of Dawsonville, has been a public servant for his local community for more than 30 years, during which time, as a volunteer fireman, climbed his way to chief deputy, undersheriff in Dawson County Sheriff Office, served as county manager for Dawson County, ultimately represents the constituents of Lumpkin County, parts of Dawson and Forsyth counties under the Gold Dome. And whereas in 2019 and 2020, he expanded his support of transportation by serving as co-chair of the Joint Georgia Commission on Freight Logistics, and in 2021 was appointed House Speaker David Ralston to the State Road and Tollway Authority Board of Directors. Whereas Representative Tanner, a true steward, transportation and transit advancement and funding initiatives through the state of Georgia, and the State Transportation Board is honored to extend its appreciation to Representative Tanner for his continued support and partnership in building a more suitable, connected transportation network. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the State Transportation Board recognizes Kevin Tanner for his exemplary leadership and contributions to the citizens of Georgia. Be it further resolved, a copy of this resolution will be spread upon the minutes of this meeting, and a suitable copy to be presented to Kevin Tanner in honor and recognition of his commitment, dedication, and selfless service to the state of Georgia. I will make this in the form of a motion that we approve this. We have a motion. We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried, and it's an honor to have done this. Kevin, thank you for your service and great job you're doing for the state. If you would, I would like to have this away. Take a good. There we go. Thank you. Say a few remarks here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the board for that recognition. I also want to thank Commissioner McMurray. You know, we've had a great working relationship for a long time. When I was county manager before, he was working in the district office in Hall County, and he comes from good stock in North Georgia, and he's done well at the Georgia Department of Transportation. It's been an honor to work in transportation at the local level and the state level. Honored to work with my friend Chairman Beach for many years in the General Assembly, being able to work on some tough projects politically, but we've been able, I think, to advance transportation in Georgia. And I will warn you, as county manager in Forsyth, we're working right now on developing hopefully a T-splosh for Forsyth County to put on the ballot hopefully next November during the governor's race. And so we're going to be coming to you and to the commissioner and leveraging Georgia Department of Transportation funds, because it's our hope over the next 10 years that we can spend between $700 and $800 million on transportation just in Forsyth County alone. So Forsyth County is on the move, and we look forward to working closely with GDOT over the next decade to make some great things happen. So again, thank you for all you do and for your selfless service, and it's a great honor, and I look forward to displaying this in Forsyth County. Thank you very much.
At this time, we'll have Brent Story come forward, and Meg's going to make that presentation.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Hey, Brent, it's so good to see you. If I may just have the privilege of making a couple personal remarks. I've known Brent for 30 years. That's really hard to believe. And he retired over a year ago, but the celebration was, interrupted by a slight pandemic. So I'm so glad he's here today, because his service to the state of Georgia and really to the nation through his work at AASHTO is so worth celebrating and honoring. And he served as a subject matter expert, really a design expert for so many chief engineers and people at GDOT. So, I'm certainly not the first one who has had the benefit of working with Brent, and always received great guidance from him. And but really, I think your biggest legacy at GDOT was his total commitment and passion for training and mentoring our young engineers, and we still are benefiting from that and all that you put into your hard work at GDOT and the heart you put into what you did here. So thank you. So I'd like to present this resolution. Whereas Brent Story, a Georgia native from Griffin, has exemplified an exceptional work ethic. Through high school, Brent worked with his father in their family-owned land surveying business. Following high school, Brent attended Auburn University, where he obtained engineering training certification and earned a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. Whereas Brent began his 30-year career with the Georgia Department of Transportation in 1990, he spent his first 2 years in the formal training program, rotating through various offices within the department. In 1992, Brent transitioned to design engineer in the Office of Roadway Design. He advanced through the ranks of roadway design and was promoted to design group manager in 1998, and later promoted to assistant office administrator in 2001. Brent's responsibilities while in the Office of Roadway Design mainly consisted of conducting engineering calculations and studies, including capacity analysis, geometric design, hydrology analysis and drainage design, pavement design, and preparation of conceptual plans, right-of-way plans, and final construction plans for letting. Whereas in 2003, Brent transitioned to the Office of Consultant Design as administrator, where he was responsible for delivering major roadway and bridge projects being developed by consultant engineering firms. He also facilitated qualifications-based selections, staff hour negotiation, and contracted with consultant engineering firms. In 2005, Brent transitioned back to the Office of Roadway Design, where he returned as administrator, and where he was responsible for leading more than 60 designers in preparing conceptual plans, right-of-way plans, and construction plans for major interstate, freeway, and arterial projects in Georgia. This included providing the recruitment and training of design engineers and ensuring that effective quality control processes and quality assurance reviews were in place and practice at strategic points in plan development. Whereas in 2010, Brent transitioned to the Office of Design Policy and Support as administrator, where his responsibilities included developing and managing surveying standards, roadway design policy and standards, and civil and computer-aided design software standards for Georgia DOT. This role also consisted of reviewing special and unique roadway hydraulic designs, erosion control design, MS4 water quality designs, roadway lighting, any proposed exceptions to geometric design standards. Whereas with his extensive experience, Brent's professional achievements have greatly accumulated over the years. In addition to becoming a state board certified professional engineer in 1996, he also became a Georgia Soil and Water Conservation Commission Level 2 design professional and completed the AASHTO National Transportation Leadership Institute in 2008. In addition, he received numerous recognitions and awards, including a Commissioner's Merit Award in 2000, the 2013 AASHTO Subcommittee on Design Region 2 Design Award for Outstanding Achievement in the field of highway and transportation design, and the 2018 Wayne Shackelford Award for Career Achievement, Leadership, and Outstanding Public Service. Whereas the Georgia Department of Transportation has greatly benefited from his leadership and extensive experience in managing and delivering efficient and cost-effective design solutions, including the necessary interaction with local governments, resource agencies, and Georgia DOT offices necessary to maintain budgets and schedules. AASHTO also benefited from his experience as he served on its design subcommittee and technical committee on geometric design for several years. And I should add, countless hours working on the update to the design manual that all DOTs across the nation use. Therefore, be it resolved that the State Transportation Board recognizes Brent Story for his exemplary contributions, his loyal service, and for his leadership and unwavering commitment to the citizens of Georgia and the Georgia Department of Transportation. A copy of this resolution shall be spread upon the minutes of this meeting, and a suitable copy be presented to Brent Story in honor and recognition of his commitment, service, and substantive contributions to the Georgia Department of Transportation and the state of Georgia. Thank you so much.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know I did that much when I was with the department, but really, so I retired a year ago, and like most retirees, a lot of us go to work for consultants, and I am now working for Neil Schaefer for a year now. And I can tell you that there's a lot of smart folks out there in the consultant business, but there's even smarter people right here in the department, smarter engineers. And as I've become a citizen for a year now, I'm more thankful now that there's smarter engineers inside the department and more recognizing of that. So it's very important. But thank you very much, Commissioner Meg, and I know Haral's not here, Haral Patel, but is she here? I'm sorry. I didn't see her back there. But really the honor has been all mine. It's been a true honor to serve Georgia DOT and the citizens of Georgia for the past 30 years. It was the best decision, the first best decision I ever made in my life was come to work for Georgia DOT. So thank you very much for the recognition.
We need a motion. We have a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Thank you. Motion carries. At this time, now we will go into our committee reports. Mr. Jeff Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Program Delivery Committee convened at 1:30 p.m. Wednesday, May 19. Board members present included myself, Boswell, Purcell, Brown, Abel, Morris, Boyd, Floyd, Carricker, Key, Golden, Sharon. First order of business, Ms. Brown, Ms. Dixon, assistant office heads in the Office of Program Delivery, presented updates on some active major projects and corridors in the construction work program. Corridors included State Routes 20, 92, 5, 133, and U.S. Routes 441 and 1. There being no further business, the meeting adjourned at 2:05 p.m. That concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Lewis. This time I'll ask Mr. Boswell to give the finance report.
council presenting a resolution to authorize the sale of $112.5 million general obligation bonds. These funds will be used to finance 12 bridge replacement projects throughout the state and 4 capital road projects. In addition, rail upgrades will be made to approximately 222 miles of rail line to upgrade those lines to Class 2 standards. The committee voted to approve the bond sale and recommended it to the full board for approval. I now make a motion to approve the sale of those bonds.
Okay, there's been a motion. Is there a second? Got a second? Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No? Good. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Boswell. This time, we'll ask Mr. Brown to give the report on the Equal Access Committee.
Yes, sir. The Equal Access Committee convened on May 15, 2021 at 2:18 p.m. Board members present included Chairman myself, Stacy Key, Jeff Lewis, Jerry Sharon, Rudy Bowen, Emily Dunn, Kevin Abel, Ann Purcell, Johnny Floyd, Russ Carricker, Tim Golden, Jamie Boswell, and Greg Morris. The first order of business was Kimberly King, Director of EEO, gave a presentation on diversity, equity, and inclusion, better known as DE&I. It is an inherent part of many of GDOT's existing processes. It is included in hiring, selection, and promotion activities, as well as our ADA, Title VI, affirmative action, and DBE programs. GDOT's objective is to be intentional and deliberate in naming these processes as DE&I and building upon them to create a multidimensional presence at GDOT that considers, supports, and values diversity, equity, and inclusion. GDOT's platform is built upon the AASHTO and SAASHTO resolutions crafted last summer in response to a national conversation about equity and justice. The department is responding to the resolution's language regarding our responsibility to take decisive action toward identifying and dismantling the systems of inequity that may exist within our organizations. GDOT's leadership directive from the commissioner is to offer room for all staff to grow and develop professionally without restriction. GDOT will be accountable for providing an environment that encourages that growth. Included in our DE&I activity is a new initiative to add project-specific professional services goals to our federally funded project activity, where those goals are applicable and appropriately set. This provides a better capacity to engage DBEs in these areas and class activities and to capture and record their participation and performance. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 2:35 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for that report. Is there any questions for Mr. Brown's report? Thank you, Mr. Brown. This time I'll give the committee as a whole report. The committee of the whole convened at 2:45 p.m. on Wednesday, May the 19th. Board members present included Chairman Rudy Bowen, Emily Dunn, Kevin Abel, Ann Purcell, Johnny Floyd, Russ Carricker, Robert Brown, Stacy Key, Tim Golden, Jamie Boswell, Jeff Lewis, Greg Morris, and Jerry Sharon. Director of Strategic Communications, Scott Higley, provided an update on the department's communications efforts, all focused on key operating principles and based on the department's stance of transparency with the public. He reiterated his team's effort to rebrand GDOT in 2018 and described those efforts as foundational for work that followed, such as logos and visual identity for internal programs and products, all aligned with the GDOT branding, and update on many of the communications efforts undertaken by GDOT followed, including Drive Alert, Arrive Alive, See and Be Seen, the educational partnership with the Scholastic, which educates Georgia's middle school students on the danger of distracted driving before they get behind the wheel, as well as GDOT's focus on working with the governor, First Lady, and the state of Georgia to end human trafficking. He concluded with a recap on the launch and the growth of GDOT anti-littering campaign, Keep It Clean Georgia, and showed a 30-second public service announcement that will begin airing on local TV stations across Georgia to spread the word about protecting Georgia's natural beauty. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned. Okay. At this time, we'll go into new business. Last month, I announced that the board would consider taking action on today's meeting to adjust the commissioner's salary. At this time, I call on Ms. Ann Purcell, and she'll make a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we approve the commissioner's salary of $450,000.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Any other business to come before this board today? If not, have a motion to adjourn. Second? We adjourn.